The views or opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Westman Communications Group or its employees.
Hey guys, welcome back to the KC Chronicles. We know it's been a while. We feel bad. We're sorry.
we feel terrible.
We kind of felt about it, but it's also because I was having issues with my computer a while back, and then now it's magically fixed.
Yeah, we didn't even do anything different. It just magically works now.
Yeah. And also, if I sound nasally at all, I am sick. I am dying. Okay.
We are still in traditional flu season, so it's.
I want it to break. I just side-eyed the window because I looked outside and there was snow.
Yeah, I think it snowed here overnight.
It rained yesterday.
Yeah. The weather has not been good. We've had I want to say the odd sort of +2 day, once or twice in the past couple months. But I swear to God, this is one of those first years in a while where we're not having consistent warm weather before it's traditionally expected. Yeah. So, I think we're still. Yeah, I think we are still in a La Nina, I believe. I think that's when things are colder. But apparently, I think I read somewhere it's forecast that this year is expected to be stupid hot, break record stupid hot. So that's just fantastic. Yay, that's just what we need. But yes. Oh, and we also forgot to mention we are two very busy people. We both work, so sometimes things just do not line up.
But coming up in April, I have a week off for Easter.
Da-da-da.
We might be on the grind.
Might be on the grind. We're gonna film 30 episodes in 2 days.
Am I gonna sleep at all during this time?
No.
Again,
you don't need to sleep when you are here watching KC Chronicles live on the YouTube and WCGTV. So
on the YouTube. Ooh,
YouTube.
So Colin, how you been?
I've been doing okay. I've been keeping busy. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, the most major thing in my life, and because I feel like we've come full circle a little bit, because if you are an avid KC Chronicles watcher, we did an episode about social media almost 2 years ago. I have officially quit social media.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I haven't deleted or wiped my pages, but I'm done with the Instagrams, the Reddit, the TikTok, all that. I've basically just done.
Peace out.
Because I feel it's not good for the attention span. Seeing the doom and gloom in the news, that's clickbaited and pushed right in our faces.
Oh yeah.
So I simply just kind of refuse to use it now. I just don't like it. I still do use YouTube, which in a sense it is kind of social media to an extent, but it's better than the traditional platforms. And Kenzie got Dr. Pepper, the preferred soda on KC Chronicle. Imagine if Dr. Pepper sponsored us.
I would cry. Dr. Pepper,
I was gonna say
3Ks.
Yeah. If anyone at Dr. Pepper, if anyone from Dr. Pepper is listening, listen.
Happen to be, yeah.
You have the number one drinker of Dr. Pepper. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. So how have you been?
Busy, working a lot. I was subbing last week. I got to play librarian for the day.
Fun.
Which consisted of me literally doing 2 things in the morning and then sitting there doing nothing. And I'm not mad about it. I also had to get my picture taken for the yearbook. I thought I was going to avoid that. Because the one day I'm subbing, the one day photographer came back and I was like,
so you weren't looking 100% or?
No, they told me at the beginning of the week, so I did look okay, but I was starting to get sick, and then I ended up getting really sick on Friday, so I had to call in sick. Because I was now I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm stuffed up and I'm terrible right now. So bad.
Nasally. You know what, actually, now that I'm looking at the clock, and I think I've just realized, we didn't even talk about this beforehand, we've been doing the show for 2 years now. March 7th is our 2-year anniversary, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
I feel old.
Happy 2 years in Casey Chronicles. I didn't even realize that till we started.
It's okay. I'm gonna tell you a story
Tell me a story.
that made me feel really old.
Okay.
Yesterday, this was literally yesterday, my high school best friend, my friend of 9 years, who is married and had a kid, invited me and Landon over for supper. And we went over, and I was like, the entire time, I'm like, I feel like I'm a child. Like, why are we having dinner without our parents there? Like, it just felt so weird. I was like, I am old enough to have adult dinners with my friends. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
21 in 2 months.
I know, that's crazy. I'm gonna be 23 in 5 months. Ain't that crazy? That's nuts. We're so we are actually becoming fossils. That's crazy.
1 foot in the grave already. I'm just kidding.
1 foot in the grave. I know. I guess, does that mean, because, okay, now, for any of those watching that do not follow Gen Z slang, there is a term that's being rapidly kind of thrown around. It's the term UNC. UNC.
I got called that by one of my students. I was like, no way.
Yeah, so basically UNC is just short for uncle, and it gets dubbed, it's basically by like younger Gen Z, Gen Alpha kids. They throw it at the older Gen Z kids who, like, once you hit your 20s, you're now considered old, out of fashion. You're not hip and with it anymore.
I was at work the other day, and for those of you who don't know, I work at a school as an EA. And I like to think that I don't look that old. And I feel like I've blended in with some of the kids because some of like the older kids think that I'm the same age as them. When I first started, I had a kid ask me, what grade are you in? So I was like, cool. That makes me feel better. And the other day, last week, I was at work, and one of the kids that we work really close with, I asked her, I said, like, how old do you think I am? And she goes, well, you gotta be 30. And I'm like, and there's another EA that started in like January. Her name is also Mackenzie.
Oh, that's great.
She's a photographer. She's 21. Weird, and she's from Whitewood. Right?
Okay. I just ruined my camera. Sorry, go on.
It's all good. So like it was really weird. She's 21. I'm technically a year younger than her. And this girl that I was working with, like I was working close with the student, she goes, well, you gotta be older than her. And I'm like, am I 30? Do I look 30? Somebody please tell me I don't look like 30.
See, it's funny for me because I look young, and like I'm a very thin person, and I think the combination of that could still make me look like a high schooler. But given the fact that I'm super tall though, it balances it out, because typically most like there are times where with my job when I'm out recording or shooting events out in the community, especially if it's like a high school recital, and if I'm carrying all my camera equipment and I'm walking by all these high schoolers, I'm like, you guys are literal children. I do not look anything like you. But I'm caught in this between state where I look youthful, but my height kind of gives it away that I'm not really necessarily like a 17-year-old or something like that.
It's just a wild to me that they think I'm 30. Cullen, do I look like I'm 30?
No.
And
honestly,
actually,
not.
this is a segue into today's topic.
I was just gonna say, yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube, or actually if you're watching on TV and you've clicked the channel guide, you would know today's episode is about things nobody tells you about your 20s.
And don't get on me about being 20. I'm turning 21 this year. Cullen's going to be 23. I think that we can speak, especially as Gen Zers, on this topic, because there is a lot that people do not warn you about that you have to face when you turn 20. Like, it's wild.
It's crazy. Well, actually, yeah, I think now I'm trying to do some math here in my head. So Gen Z starts in 1997. It's 2026, meaning that people turning 30 this year are millennials. So starting next year, Gen Z will start turning 30. But what I'm saying is Gen Z occupies almost the entirety of the age 20 bracket. So it's crazy, eh?
I know a lot of people in their 20s. Cullen probably knows a lot of people in their 20s. And I think that we, not only from what we've experienced, but what we hear other people talk about, we can kind of be like, this is the things if you are a younger Gen Z or Gen Alpha and you want to know what happens in your 20s and what people say, stick around because this is going to be a very informative episode for you.
And I think this episode for anyone who's older than us, be that millennials, Gen X, or the baby boomers, maybe them watching us, maybe they'll kind of be nodding along going, yep, you're understanding it now. Or they're laughing at us because of how naive we still are.
Yeah, probably.
And any combination of the two. But yes, so that's today's topic. We're going to be talking about things that nobody tells you about your 20s. We've written some stuff down. Some stuff is life experience. Other stuff is stuff that I've just pulled from the internet because I think it also is very informative as well. So
I want to start with one that I think is really, really big, and it's really hard to navigate when you're young.
Right.
I think that, okay, so in your 20s, it's a really weird time because you basically separate from your friends. You have the friends who are really big partiers and still, youthful like that. And then you have the people who want to get married, have a family. I find a lot of the time that people will look down on you if you get engaged too young, or get married too young. Like, personally, I am a person, I want to settle down, I want to have a family, so that's what I'm currently working towards and wanting in my life. Whereas I know people who are the same age as me who are big partiers and go out every night. And I have a friend who's married and has a kid, so it's just you hear a lot of, you're too young for that, or you don't have enough life experience to get married, or yada yada yada. And I think that is stupid. Plain and simple. I think that is stupid.
Tell them.
I think that every situation is different, and when you know, and when the time is right, you will know. I'm not gonna jump to a marriage if I don't feel like it's right. I'm gonna do it if I feel like it's right, and I feel like I'm ready for it. And I've seen my parents got married young when my mom was young, and so they're still together. That's a marriage that I've seen that they've started younger and they had kids and everything worked out. So I think that everybody just assumes that divorce is linked to early young marriage, and I don't think that's true. I think that it just depends on if it's the right person or not. And I feel like you should go into your 20s on your timeline, not anybody else's. If somebody says it's too soon, be like, well, it's not your life, it's my life. And that's the mentality I've had to learn over time, is that people are going to say whatever they want. They're going to make you feel bad. They're going to say whatever they want. Don't take what other people say too seriously, and do what you feel is right for you. That's my rant of the day.
Boom. Well, you know what? I'm going to kind of sort of counter that in a sense. Not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I'm going to counter it from looking at it from the other side in a way, but your 20s can feel lonely.
Yeah.
And you alluded to this. You will lose friends. I've had friends that I knew in high school and elementary that have moved away. They are in other provinces. Yeah. Some have moved to different countries. Some have started families and now they don't have any time for it. But then there are some who it can feel lonely because, again, you lose all your friends, people settle down and have families. And the one other thing is, it is damn hard to make new friends in your 20s. In high school, even college to an extent, and all of your time in schooling, that's the prime time to make friends, or if you play community sports. But once you actually reach your adulthood, it's weirdly more difficult.
And I agree with that. And that's why I want to also add to my point, and it sounds like I'm kind of counteracting my own point, but I would say if you are going to get married or get engaged young, wait until you're done your education. I'm not saying that you have to wait until you're 25 or 28. Just finish your education. I think that education should come first. Henceforth, why I am done my education and now I know what I want and that's what I'm going for. But my advice in your 20s would be, if you're going for education, finish your education before you settle down. That would be, because then you're going to make the friends, then you're going to meet the people, and then you can be like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to go for. So I'm not saying wait till you're 28, wait till you're 25. I'm just saying finish your education. It's as simple as that. If you want to finish high school and you don't want to go to school, that's fine. If you go into college, finish your college. Exactly. That would be my advice to a 20-year-old out there, or anyone in their 20s.
Yeah, I think it also serves a practical reason in a sense, or it's more convenient because, I mean, let's be honest here. Think about it. If you're doing university, for example, which demands a lot of your time and energy, and if you were to get married and even have children while you're still in university, that is a commitment. Now, yeah,
And it's
there
a
are
lot of,
resources. Yeah, it's a lot of money too. I mean, think about it, like how expensive it is to raise children. And
yeah,
university's not cheap either. So balancing all those at once, and there are resources out there for people who are in those situations. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just makes things a lot more difficult.
yeah. And like, of course, there's always the option too later, like later in life when you are a mother and you have like older children. If you want to go back to college or you want to go back to school and get some more education, you can.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I think for sure, when you're like first getting married, first having really young children, you'd want to be out of school. That's just like a personal preference, but I feel like that's just a good guideline for everybody to kind of remember. Like, hey, school's expensive. How expensive do you think a wedding and children are going to be? Do you want to do those at the same time? Do you want to commit your time and all your money? You know, like that's just, you really got to think about it critically before you decide to do it. So I'm all about getting married young, but also make sure it's right for you and you've
Yeah.
thought about it deeply before you commit to that.
Yeah. And I think another thing, because we're talking about all of these major life scenarios and events. And the first number one thing that I wrote down myself was you don't need to have everything figured out.
No.
It is not a competition. It is not you versus the person next to you of who can be successful quicker, who can be more successful, who starts a family first, who wants a family. You do not have to have these answers figured out. Your 20s are one of your most, like, it's kind of funny. You have like back-to-back decades in your teens from like, 10 to 19. That's the biggest exploration of your life in terms of like actually like growing, developing, and maturing.
Yeah.
Your 20s are actually like figuring out who you really are.
Yeah.
You really are.
Well, and everybody's gonna have different views on life, and that's just something you need to accept. You may be friends with somebody who has a family, but that might not be something you want, and that's fine. I think that the very important thing is that friendships aren't about wanting the same thing or competing against each other. It's about supporting each other. And I'm gonna actually tell a story that kind of talks about this. When my best friend from high school, she got married and had a baby right out of high school. That's what she wanted. That's the family she came from. That's just what she wanted. And I fully supported her. When she told people she was engaged, she lost a lot of friends because people were like, oh, well, that's not what I would choose. And we're judging her for it. And I don't think that's fair. If that's not what you want, that's fine. But you can still be friends with somebody who has different values or wants different things than you. I took some time to go to college, and that's something that I wanted to do, but I still stayed friends with her, even when she got pregnant and had her baby. Like, I was like, we were in different stages of life. We were the same age, completely different stages of life. And that's okay. I stayed her friend because I love her and I support her. And I know that what she has is what I want one day, but I just took a little more time to like get there, then that's fine. I don't think that friendships should be lost based on different values or different things you want in life. Like, I think it is stupid to dump a friend because they have something that you just don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's fair. And I feel really bad for her because she did lose a lot of friends after that. And I was like, that should have never happened.
That's just harsh. That is just legitimately just rude.
The moral of the story, though, is good friends who actually care about you will stick around whether you guys have different lives and want different things. If they're truly a friend, they will just be happy for you and support you and be there if you need them. And that's, exactly. I think, a good lesson for your 20s is that the real friends will stick around no matter what you're going through in your life.
Yeah. And even just to piggyback kind of off like what you said, friends are going to go. Like, you are going to lose friends. Whether it's just like peaceful, mutual, or you just lose contact, or it's a big fiery kaboom, you are going to lose friends. And that sucks because you wish you couldn't. But to actually maintain a friendship, especially into adulthood, it's a lot different than when you're a kid. To maintain that into adulthood is not an easy thing. It takes commitment, it takes respect. And there are going to be times in your life where, exactly. Like when you could be like the best friend, but you could have a time where like in your 20s, you are not really close or you lose contact for a few years. But then in your 30s, you come back together and you see each other like regularly. And then maybe in the 40s it drifts apart. Then if 50s it comes back, like there's going to be that ebb and flow state. But then there's going to be some that just don't come back.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
I think that another major thing that I never knew going into my 20s, like going off of that, is like you have to be okay being alone sometimes. You have to be okay and stable enough to be by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are not, because you're in that stage where you're getting away from your parents. You're not constantly having them cover, and you're losing friends. You have to be okay being on your own for a little bit. You have to be okay living on your own. You have to be okay providing for yourself. Like, this is a very major time where you are learning how the world works. And you are going to learn that it's not easy for everybody. It's not easy at all for anybody, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have hard times, and it's perseverance you need to learn. You need to learn to be okay being by yourself and get through things, because you're not going to have somebody to pick you up when you fall.
Correct.
You're not
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it's like, damn, the train of thought was there and the train of thought got lost.
Derailed.
And the train of thought derailed. Here, while I get my train of thought back together, why don't we do an ad break? And while I try and get the thing back in.
Okay, so you're watching this probably on YouTube at this point, so we kind of know what's going on. KC Chronicles on YouTube. If you're not watching it on YouTube and you're watching it on WCG, you can find us on YouTube. All episodes free to stream. Every episode in the past 2 years that we have done. So, if you like us and you're just finding us now, go back and watch all of our other episodes from the past 2 years.
Do it.
See how different we were when we started. Because, like, spoiler alert, we were different people.
We both look different just in that
Vastly
2 years.
different.
Yeah.
And we got TikTok and Instagram, KC_Chronicles 2024. Haven't posted on there in a little while, but maybe Cullen can get started on some clips for us to post. Yeah?
Yeah, I've kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. I gotta
We do post some fun content on there. There's some funny little reels. There's one about a boat. Like, just go see what we're talking about.
I still watch those clips because, like, it might sound vain or something like that, but I genuinely enjoy watching stuff that we've made because it's just entertaining.
When I'm having a bad day, I'll just go like scroll on our Instagram or our TikTok, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, remember when we did that?
Seriously, some of them are just so funny.
And let's put this here. If you or somebody you know is interested in doing a podcast with us, or in the studio by yourselves, or joining us on a Microsoft Teams call, which is what we're doing, you can email us at WCGTV@westmancom.com, or you can email us directly if you want to join us at KCChronicles2024@gmail.com. And also, lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else. Oh, I was going to say, if you are somebody in your 20s and you can relate to us, I would highly suggest going to watch the rest of our episodes because we're pretty funny.
Yes.
We're pretty cool.
Our content is for everybody. We would love everyone to watch it, but there is a heavy tilt of it's by Gen Zs for Gen Zs.
Yeah.
But everyone's welcome to enjoy and engage in the content. That's what we would want. But if you're Gen Z, you'll probably click with us a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. And we like to think we're funny sometimes.
We are funny. Literally, I had because there'll be random funny bits that we've done like in our episodes that will just pop up randomly in my head, and then I'll just be laughing to myself like a bit of a crazy person.
Even stuff that's funny.
Yeah.
I just remember moments in the office that were off camera, like the Sam Carpenter. We can't put that in, but
out of context, this stuff makes no sense, but it makes sense to us.
Yeah. All right. Did you figure out your train of thought?
I did figure out my train of thought, but I just will quickly end with saying I had a moment. This was a couple days ago. I remembered back to one of our episodes where we had that epic jinx moment. Like it was where it was we both said right after each other without even realizing it, and then said yeah like in unison. Put the clip in right here. Let's watch it.
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah, so you say
Your camera's
and then
falling.
yeah. Ah!
I just saw you like tilting, and I'm like, oh, is he in an earthquake?
Yeah,
Tornado.
earthquake. We're having an earthquake. But yes, so I still laugh at some of our moments because they are just
Me too.
the yeah, out of context and all the travel stuff. That was always a fun one. Yeah. So okay, back to it. I remember what I was gonna say. So another part that I didn't really, I don't think I kind of wrote that down, but well, kind of. I'll tie both in. So navigating the pressure to conform to societal norms and expectations.
Mhm.
So social media, I think, has made this a bit worse because we can see the best versions of ourselves and the best versions of all of our friends and family's lives. There are people
Yeah.
that I know that are my age, your age, people who have gone to university, good universities in the country or abroad, and people are living, like everyone's at different stages of their lives, and that creates some pressure on yourself or even pressure from family to live up to those expectations. Or am
Yeah.
I kind of getting at something here? So that like it's again, like you see, I have a couple friends that now have kids, and when you have parents or other people in your life, they're like, well, when are you gonna have kids? Get busy, haha, funny. But it's not kind of like what I said earlier. It's not me versus the person next to me. It's me versus me, I guess. Everyone's at their own pace, and again, there's just that there can be a bit of jealousy and envy because if you want what another friend already has, can create that like, oh, like I'm not there yet. I'm a failure. I'm not living up to expectations. That can happen, and it's not your fault. Do not put that pressure. Like the whole saying of putting the weight of the world on your shoulders, really, really applies in your 20s, I think.
And I think that the main thing to like learn from this too is just like don't compare yourself to other people, and especially don't compare yourself to things you see online, because like he said, people post the best parts of themselves and their lives. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, so don't automatically assume that they have the perfect life. And I see this a lot with TikTok influencers. People are like, oh, I want to be like them or whatever. Do not have that mentality, please.
No,
It is
you do not.
everything that is good in this world. Do not compare yourself to the people online. They only post the best parts of themselves. They only post what they want you to see. And so I know it's hard, but try to have that reminder when you're doom scrolling. Like, hey, they might not be perfect, and that's okay. I may not want to have my life exactly like theirs. That's okay. Do what you want to do. Do what's best for you. Dig deep in yourself. Don't worry about pleasing anybody but yourself. Because if you're not happy,
Absolutely.
then what's the point?
Yeah. Well, and that's and that's just it. Like you said that they show the best versions of themselves. I will even go a step further and say a lot of it is fake. It's a complete facade that some of these creators put on. A complete facade. So, yeah, just basically what you said. Do not idolize these people. Again, they either show the best versions of themselves, or they're showing up something that is literally not realistic, or that's not even real life.
Especially in your like personal relationships. I'm not even talking friendships. I am talking like dating and relationships. Do not ever compare your relationship to one you see online.
Yes.
Every relationship is different, and you are only going to cause turmoil for yourself, and you're just going to blow up your own relationship. And that is not something you want to do. If you value this relationship, do not compare it to ones you see online.
I cannot say that enough.
It will not work out if you do.
It will not. Again, this is really true. The showing the best versions of themselves. I have known people that they post these very nice, happy, loving couple photos and videos online, but I know them personally, and I know the relationship is not like that. It's like these were like specific like relationships that were literally just messy, terrible, abuse, all that junk. It's like that's all going on behind the scenes, like in a repetitive thing. But you see a nice smiling photo of them, and you think, oh, they are just. I wish I was like that. Pump. Time out. Time out.
So I think that it's very important to judge your relationship based on what actually happens in the relationship. Obviously, if somebody is abusing you or anything like that, you need to leave for your own safety and sanity. But if you are happy and there's no red flags, there's no reason to blow up your relationship based on something you see online. If you are happy, stay in that happy bubble. Do not see something online and be like, oh, I wish you did this for me. Because that will never work out and that will blow up in your face. Like, that is just speaking
Yeah.
as a 20-year-old. In your 20s, it is so crucial to build those relationships. If you want to get married and have a family, you got to start somewhere.
Do it.
But if you're blowing up your relationship because of something you see online, you are never going to have a successful relationship. And that is just the hard truth.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like a mother. I'm just lecturing.
You listen here.
I think that's a really valuable thing to know. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that going into relationships in your 20s. They don't realize, maybe they think they're doing something harmless. But if you're constantly comparing your partner to somebody else's partner online, you will start to eat at their confidence. You will make them feel insecure and you'll make them feel like they're not good enough.
Yep.
And then it's gonna blow up in your face.
Yeah, that's just, you are already like lighting the.
You're digging a hole.
We're digging a hole, like you're already like lighting the little like trail leading to the dynamite. You're already gonna be setting that in motion sometimes without you even knowing. It's like seeing, it's like you're doing something and sparks are flying, and you think these sparks are harmless, but that spark has literally just ignited a curtain nearby and it's starting to burn.
So take your partner's feelings into account. You may think you're doing something harmless, but think about how you would feel if they were doing that to you. That is the biggest thing you can think of, is how would you feel if your partner did that to you?
Putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like we're taught this stuff in like preschool for a reason.
But then you don't think, and then you go through living your life and you're like, oh, this won't apply. I won't ever use this in life. There's a lot of things in school that you will learn, you will use in real life scenarios. Like there's a lot of things the lessons that you learn throughout school that you may think aren't important. And you hit your 20s and you live all these life things and you're like, actually, this makes sense. This is useful. So listen to what you're learning in school because it will be important.
Absolutely. So to pivot to a new topic, I will say this is a little more simple, but adulting can suck. And it can be, and it's hard and it's draining. It can drain you, especially in today's day and age where we have an attention-based economy and we have social media and everything's moving just faster and everything's so overstimulating. It's not easy. Yeah, there are great freedoms that you have being an adult, but there are so many things about it that just suck. It's not paradise.
If there's one piece of advice I can give for this specific topic, learn every skill that you can while you have your parents around. Learn how to cook, learn how to change a tire, learn how to change your oil, learn how to do all those things that you're going to have to do when you're by yourself. It will help so much. I know that you're like, oh, but I want to scroll on my phone. Take 30 minutes out of your scrolling time to learn how to cook with your dad or your mom or someone.
You will learn it and retain that knowledge way better when you have that hands-on experience from someone that raised you.
Nobody wants to live on ramen and craft dinner for the rest of their lives, or grilled cheese, or whatever is simple to make. You're going to want to cook, especially when you have a family. You're going to want to cook different meals for that family. You need to learn those skills while you still are living at home. Learn how to utilize your money. Take a class on like how to save, how to take as many classes on actual real life stuff. There was one at my school called financial literacy. Take that class. It's going to help you.
Go to Kenzie's school and take that class.
Well, take courses on loans and things that you know nothing about, things that are going to help you in the future. Learn all the skills that you can while you are in school and at home.
With a heavy incentive, with a heavy incentive of learn that from a parent or a trusted guardian. Why am I zoomed in? What did I do? Why am I so close? Okay, well, I'll just back this up then. Back it up. Okay, I'll have to just shout a little louder now. What was I gonna say?
On learn it from somebody.
Yeah, because to kind of illustrate this point, it's important to learn this while you're young and while you have these parents or trusted guardians, because there will come a time where they're no longer around. Now, hopefully that's not for a very, very long time, but there'll come a time where you'll no longer have them in your life. As your parents age, anything can happen. And I don't want to start getting into like the very doomer mentality of that. I hope everyone lives a long life, but there will come a time where they might not be around anymore. And that knowledge that you potentially could have gained, gone.
And even just like before that, when you move out for the first time, you're going to have to learn to provide for yourself. Like I said earlier, you're going to have to learn on your own and provide for yourself. And the only way you can learn to do those things is do it while you're in school. You're not going to want to look up a tutorial while you're trying to cook supper at 7 p.m. If you even are interested in cooking or anything like that, take the 30 minutes while your parents make supper and just watch them. Or just ask them like, hey, can you teach me how to make what you're making? Trust me, your parents will be so happy to teach you these things. Like they want to see you succeed. They want to teach you these things. So take the opportunities that they give you and run with them. Learn. Because I see it so much. I see people be like, oh, well, that seems like a lot of work. It's going to be a lot more work to do it on your own.
A very lazy approach, essentially.
Like, genuinely, I cannot stress that enough. Just learn from your parents. Learn these skills that you're going to need because you're going to be really mad at yourself one day if you don't.
Yeah. And so, again, piggybacking off of that, this is another topic that I wrote down. Learning the balance of being independent of and dependent on friends and family. Where that balance is.
Yeah, like, because obviously you don't want to depend on people for everything, but there's some things you just can't do alone. So learning to ask for when you need help and like be able to fix it on your own is such a big balance to learn.
Yeah, it's all about a balance.
Yeah. Hopefully the kids out there are watching.
That was for all of you little Gen Alphas or whatever.
You know what?
Let's take a pause to talk about 6-7. I'm trying to fix my camera.
An EA, like going back to I'm EAing at my old high school, so like all the teachers know me. Some of the students know me because some of the students are my sister's age. It is so weird going back as a 20-year-old and being an EA at the high school that I went to, because like all these kids are just like they know who I am and they're like whatnot. But then one day you'll just get the 6-7 at school and I'll be like, why? Why do we do this? I've had so many kids come up to me and go 6-7, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? Why?
I want to kick you.
I'm literally like, I cannot kick you, but if I could, I would.
I would. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
It's so funny. Okay, well, see, my first point. It's funny for you because, you're at your at the old high school, but there's not much of a gap, and you have a little sister that's also the same age. For me, it would be a little more, maybe more disconnected, but like in a better way because everyone that's in my high school, I would have not went to high school with. The gap is already too far. But to piggyback off of what you said again with the 6-7, because I work in an office where almost everyone I work with is actually much older than I am. I'm not really working with many people my age, or especially not anybody younger, really. So, or I guess I should say super young, because whenever I do rarely go out to big public events, and I see there's a bunch of kids there, you don't even actually really realize a lot of these things exist until you actually see it in person. I remember back in October, I went to go see a basketball game, and this was during the World Series. So there were so they had they sponsored a kids baseball team as a special guest for the game, and so they're all running around in their in their baseball uniforms, and these are all maybe 7, 8, 9-year-olds, and they're all doing 6-7, all that 6-7 stuff, and that was the first time I think I really saw that out in public, in real life, and I had this moment of I felt old all of a sudden because I'm oh God. And then because I was stuck in the concessions line, I was waiting for popcorn. And as I'm waiting, I can't get out of this line really. So I then see the mascot of the team. He's wandering around. The kids see him and then they're all jumping around going crazy. But every last one of them is trying to get the mascot to do the 6-7 thing. They're all just screaming in his face, 6-7! And the mascot, I couldn't see his face or hear it, but I can imagine his face. He's probably like,
Yeah.
like
That
I
is
don't.
my face would be like if I was a mascot.
Yeah, like, I'd just be face palming. And then so like the mascot, he like did like this thing where he did like an exaggerated like look left, look right, make sure no one's watching, and then did a little 6-7 for them, and the kids screamed their ever loving minds out, and I'm standing next there in line like.
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't understand it, and I never will. But
I never will either. See, and that's what makes us feel old. We're not old at all. Like on a human scale, we are still very, very young, but I feel so old when I see the 6-7
that
stuff.
brings me a point to my 20s actually. Thing that now I never expected to feel in my 20s is to just feel old.
Yes.
Nobody warned me that you're gonna feel like light years older than the kids, and that is something that I really stepped into when I got my job as an EA.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
I feel so old. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're not old," but it's just the way that you see these kids and like how they're doing things. And you're just like, I don't understand what you're doing or why. You just
Yeah.
have this sense of I'm old.
Yeah, their influences are different, like what TV shows, video games, the generation of parents and like the age gap. All of those things are slightly different to us. Even though like there's not a ton of years distance between us, like maybe a decade give or take or less. But still like it's freaky. Like even just like even like unironically 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 years after you, like there is such a gap. And I felt that myself when I started in my current job and I was going out and recording events that involved like a lot of kids like that were like younger, like filming like recitals and concerts and whatnot. Um, and like just being around kids more because I I was in college for a couple of years, so I was really only around people like my age. Like that was taking up all my time. So then a few years later, I then come back and I'm like seeing all these kids and like everything about them, like the culture has just changed entirely. And then I had this moment of like, oh gosh, yeah, I'm not a teenager anymore.
And that is just a feeling you're gonna have to prepare yourself for because you will have this feeling like I am not a kid anymore. Like I am an adult.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling's gonna hit you at some point in your 20s. So
Yep.
just prepare yourself. You're going to have that sudden realization. You're gonna be like, I am not a kid anymore. And it might be a heartbreaking revelation for some people. You might be like, oh, like that's really sad that I'm not a kid anymore. But I like to look at it the positive way. I'm growing up. I am becoming an adult. That's cool. I mean, it sucks. Adulting sucks. Let's be real. But you're getting older, and that's okay. And that is a part of life. And once you accept that, you will feel a lot better at life.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more big point to round it out, but you finish what you were saying.
Yeah. I was gonna say yeah. Well, actually, I was gonna start my next point. So my last point, I'll kind of like. Okay. Honestly, these two are kind of. We've already said these to some extent, but I'll kind of play at this actually. I'll touch on it again, and one of these I'll touch on from kind of my side because I know that this is where we kind of differ. With being in your 20s, it is okay to be single, and if that's the life that you want to choose, it isn't a disease. Because again, there is that expectation in your 20s, you get married. You have children. Listen, if you want to live the single life until your 30s or your 40s, or if you want to live that life forever, if you're like an introverted or a solitary person and you just genuinely like your own free time, your space, or even just for your 20s, maybe you'll change and you'll grow into that more in your 30s. That is okay. Do not let anyone tell you that's bad. Trust me, it is okay.
I couldn't agree more, actually. I think that is a very good point. Like I said before, whatever makes you happy. That is the point. You should be happy. And I think that is so weird because, like you said, there's this expectation to get married and all this stuff. But then if you do it too young, you're suddenly like, terrible. So, like, I don't understand because people expect you to get married in your 20s, but then you start getting married in your 20s and everybody's judging you for it. So that's where I'm like, it is such a double standard. At this point, whatever makes you happy. Like, as long as you are happy, do not care what anyone else has to say. People are going to say, you should be getting married. And then you say, oh, I'm getting married. They'll be like, you shouldn't be getting married. So it's really comes down to whatever makes you happy. And that is, like, the biggest point I can make is make choices that make you happy.
Absolutely.
Don't care about anybody else's happiness.
Exactly. I think that law, that rule of thumb, that law, I think it absolutely applies to anything in your life. My whole philosophy, like the way that I word it is, if it makes you happy and you are not hurting yourself or others in the process, do whatever the heck you want with your life.
Pretty much. That I couldn't agree more. I think that's an amazing thing to end on. Don't hurt anybody or yourself, and just make decisions that make you happy. Because at the end of the day, your happiness is the only one that you're working towards. And I know that there's a lot of people out there. I am the same way. But when it comes to your life decisions and what you choose to do, ultimately your own happiness should be what decides. Do not choose something that you're going to be miserable in.
Yeah.
Be single if you want. Get married if you want. Have kids. Go to college. Do whatever makes you happy, because at the end of the day, it's your life, not anybody else's.
And also, and I think the last point that I'll end on, your 20s, no matter what you do, your 20s can suck. It doesn't matter how much prep, how much you try and control it, or how much you're hands off. Sometimes your 20s will just suck. But through because again, our brains are still developing. The final bits of, now I'm trying to remember, is it emotional regulation, I believe? I think it's the prefrontal cortex is still finishing its development well into your 20s, whether it's through something like that, getting out of a bad relationship or a bad job that was holding you down, whatever it is. Sometimes your 20s might suck, but you might get into your 30s or even your 40s and things become great. I know people personally that have said, you know what, I didn't like my 20s at all, but once I got into my 30s, I really liked it.
Exactly.
So don't feel like you have to accomplish everything in your 20s. Don't like.
Just remember, you don't have to know exactly what your life's going to look like. Just choose for your own happiness. And you may not like your 20s, and that is okay.
Hey, okay. Then
what's happening with your camera?
I don't even know. This webcam has a mind of its own. I borrowed it, and but you know what? It's making it fun.
It's kind of freaky, yeah. Well, I think those were really great points for us to end on, and I think that we both dropped a lot of wisdom today.
We are very we are intelligent, kind of.
This also kind of makes me feel old, because like we're dropping wisdom on people, and I'm just like,
I know, we are becoming the Unk philosophers.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
are we relevant?
I know. Yeah. Are we relevant? Are we still relevant yet? I need to go take a shower after this. I need to like cleanse myself of this awfulness I have done.
No, but thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been like such a very, I don't know, it feels like all these life lessons that we've learned, and we finally get to put them to use.
Yeah.
We probably missed a few, so if there's anything that we missed, leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments, or scream it at the TV, because we can hear you. Very good.
Very correct. No, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us. You may think that what we say is like not true, and then you're gonna get to your 20s and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, they were right. Mm-hmm. So just take what we say into consideration.
Yeah, and you know what? In some extent, take it with a grain of salt as well. Everyone's life experience is different. Sometimes you might do the opposite of everything that we say, and your life might turn out great and fruitful. And if it does, more props to you.
Yeah, and genuinely, every person's life is different. So, like, obviously, these are our experiences and things that we've heard. But just remember to choose your happiness.
Yeah, be happy at the end of the day. Yeah. Happiness is a choice, and if you choose it, and if you choose to live that in stride, there is no ceiling of what you can do. It's limitless.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Tune in.
And happy 2 years of Casey Chronicles.
We're gonna try and pump out some more episodes soon. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, just goodbye from Kenzie and Colin.